factors that instigate the riot. In responding to this issue, Manning said the procurement and the license of firearms falls under the Firearms Act, where the Commissioner's Office issued the firearms license under its directive. Manning said private security firms in PNG do not have a legal right to be given a firearm. Every private security firm has to apply. He said there were specific firearms that were supposed to be used by the security firms. Apart from that, they are not entitled to use any other firearms.
To start up a security company in Papua New Guinea, it is not a legal right to be given a firearm. Every single private security company or private security service provider in this country has to apply.
He said members of the security firm were taken to court for carrying firearms in public because they are not required to use firearms in responding to situations. Rather, they are required to use firearms to defend themselves if and when needed to.
The type of weapons that firearms that security companies own, and just like what we're doing in the police force, it is my view that high-powered firearms such as 5.56 caliber weapons, .22, 308 or 7.62 weapons have no business as to be carried by private security firms.
Manning said at this stage a review was conducted to look into the use of the firearms by the private security firm to find out how they are procuring firearms. Manning intends to present the figures as and when the statistics are finalized. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
Meanwhile, the Commission of Inquiry was adjourned to tomorrow morning, giving ample time for Commissioner David Manning to prepare himself. The next 4 witnesses who will testify are Deputy Commissioner of Special Operations Dono Liamasombi, Deputy Commissioner of Regional Operations Samson Kua, Assistant Commissioner of Police Crime Hodges Eti, and Assistant Commissioner of Police Anthony Wagambi Jr. Delving into the hidden financial dealings, environmental impacts, and socio-economic consequences of deep-sea mining in Papua New Guinea, a press conference organized by Solwara One Warriors today brought together representatives from the Catholic Church, PNG Council of Churches, and the Center of Environmental Law and Community Rights.
The press conference highlighted Solwara One Warriors and partners' concerns over the opaque financial practices surrounding deep-sea mining operations in New Ireland Province, having raised significant concerns among environmental groups, local communities, and international observers. The lack of transparency in the funding and financial management of these ventures has prompted calls for greater accountability and oversight.
Na government no sabe, people no sabe, even media too no sabe, and they tell me sabe now some. There was a vessel that came in on the May 16 to Ley and then moved to New Ireland on May 29, and for the period of June, I'm conducting sampling long, Solwara One side staff. And no one knows, even the local community, me place no sabe too.
Papua New Guinea currently does not have in place regulatory framework on seabed mining.
And yet, the International Seabed Authority is still discussing and working on the regulatory framework. I don't know what framework or regulatory framework we are using in PNG. Because if this international body has no regulatory framework, then why PNG is pushing for this project in the country?
There is no practical application on mitigating the negative impacts of this kind of mining.
The press conference has raised questions regarding the government's stance on this issue, given the risk it poses to the greater community of Papua New Guinea.
Deep-sea mining is not needed, not wanted, not consented. The ocean is the living blue heart of our planet. It is our common heritage, but also our common responsibility.
So on behalf of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Caritas PNG, me asking national government, los salimol agencies belong all check him, na come out clear, na talking people belong New Island province, East New Britain province because I'm first impact area.
Solwara One warriors state that it is unclear if the Papua New Guinea government has completed or will release due diligence analysis of the deep-sea mining finance company to ensure transparency and public trust. Maricela Kelaton, TVWAN News.
Despite the high cost of operations, the National Airports Corporation has not increased airport levies and charges as it should for the past 11 years. Transport and Civil Aviation Minister Walter Snowbelt clarified that there has not been any changes, no increase in airport levies and fees charged by the NAC since 2013.
When responding to calls made by member for Bulolo, Sam Basil Jr., to review and reduce all unnecessary airport levies and charges, Minister for Transport and Civil Aviation Walter Snowbelt clarified that there has not been any change nor increase in airport levies and fees charged by the National Airport Corporation for the past 11 years. Snowbelt said it is important to understand that airports are complex businesses with massive infrastructure, runways, terminals, and security systems that require constant upkeep and upgrades. He explained that the collection of airport charges helps in funding essential services such as baggage handling, airport terminal facilities and services, and passenger screening and security, which are important factors in ensuring safety and security for all airport users. Snowbelt further clarified that NAC has no jurisdictions over airline companies' operations and fee structures. The Civil Aviation Safety Authority of Papua New Guinea, the regulator, monitors all compliance issues, focusing on safety and security of their operations. NAC is also monitored by CASA PNG on safety and security matters and for the usage of airport facilities. The current NAC levies stand at 68 kina per ticket per passenger. Minister Snowbelt further revealed that airline operators owe NAC 150 million kina for usage of airport facilities and debt recovery is ongoing. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
Despite the operational challenges presented by the recent Mulitaka landslide, Pogera gold mine has met or exceeded its targets since resuming mining in December last year, with gold production for the first half of the year above guidance and all-in sustaining cost trending lower. Barrick President and Chief Executive Officer Mark Bristow made these remarks recently.
Barrick President and Chief Executive Officer Mark Bristow, who was in the country to review New Pogera Limited's second quarter results, said keeping Pogera open in the wake of the landslide allowed for a swift response by the mine to the collective recovery effort while sustaining the mine's contribution to the provincial and national economies. He said whilst reacting rapidly to the disaster, their teams put into operation an air bridge and a temporary pipe across the slip to be able to supply fuel and essential goods not only to the mine but to local businesses, saving the tens of thousands of residents of the Pogera Valley. Bristow, when expressing his deepest sympathies to the families and friends of victims of the landslide and reaffirming NPL's commitment to impacted communities, said the cooperation of the Mulitaka community is essential to keeping this lifeline open until the permanent bypass road can be completed. Pogera employees have been on the ground in Mulitaka daily and are embedded at the Enga Provincial Government's Disaster Relief Center in Varberg to assist with all aspects of the rehabilitation effort. These include the delivery of essential goods and fuel while contributing geotechnical expertise to assist with ground stabilization, and the design of the new bypass road. Berwick and JV partners Gizin also jointly contributed $1 million towards relief efforts, approximately half of which has been already deployed. During his visit, Bristow met with Prime Minister James Marape, and Governor Peter Ipatas, and Provincial Administrator Sandy Saka to exchange views on the Mulitaka recovery, the new Pogera Community Development Agreement negotiations, and other issues of common interest. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
You are watching TVWAN News. After the break, new classroom for Talang Primary and one squad ready for US champs.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magical cuddle, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungim Yumi.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young plana lapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Welcome back. The country's first junior technical high school will open its doors next year for the pioneer grade 9s on the island of Norriton, Karkar Island in Madang Province. On Tuesday, 23rd July, Talang Primary School officially opened its double classroom. The new classroom will accommodate the first batch of grade 9s.
Parents, students and staff of Talang Junior Technical High School cheered when the ribbon to the new classroom for grade 9 was cut.
Now I officially cut the ribbon to formally open this classroom.
Stanley Soma, a representative of the Office of the Medan Governor's Office, congratulated the institution and the community in supporting the initiative and ensuring it became a reality. Soma relayed that the Medan government will continue to support the school with more infrastructure.
Mita taking initiative finish establishing a junior high school base for this 166 Traksa by 2025-2026 Gosam and by me. Over the school Maskisim junior high school. So Talang now you are taking this initiative. Now you are coming this thinking and government you are start strong in. Now by me establishing junior technical high school.
Soma also assured the school administration that they should start policy regulations for intakes as the provincial government deliberates with the Teaching Service Commission for teachers for the school.
By me, Larin Thalong is in grade 9. Larin, in grade 9 yet, the baby becoming
Kitas Digiwell, representing Sumka Open MP Alex Suguman, stated that while the MP has education as a priority, the district has not included funding for primary schools. However, during the event's classroom launch at Talang, he announced that in the next District Development Authority meeting, funding will be allocated to primary schools.
Lo second DDL next week, by you, by all by passing resolution block you, what the DDL give you funding. Now get the schools by him block Sumkar Karkar, then DDL funding money lo you plan, board of management, teachers, headmasters, makes you using this money lo straight plan road. Now you come up in development, extraction development law, what school blow you? You know, can go making use of this law, I am used a policeman by the New Year.
Kero Bagel, Provincial Vocational Education Training Coordinator, said the junior high school concept is in line with the government's education restructure rollout program known as 166. The restructure ensures high schools are closer situated to students so that they don't have to leave their home and travel far for education opportunities. Bagel encouraged Talang and nearby communities to take ownership of this new development to ensure their children continue to benefit from this resource.
This like one black classroom to some people building. Name no people like this is Talang Junior Technical High School ever come up to some facilities everywhere. And now in college coming no people again now. People are district team, people put in education team, people put in also. Talang tomorrow people are looking also one black technical high school. The enemy come up technical high school, time people are straight in good now, people are pushing forward. Also they looking also in technical library, technical police do come stop here. Because all I looking also is a Talang primary school they must prosper.
Maricela Kelaton, TVWAN News.
The little village of Baguale in the Ward 18 area of Kutubu local level government of Nipa Kutubu district of Southern Highlands province was lit up this week by solar lights, an initiative of President of Kutubu LLG, John P.P. Kila. The solar lights project was launched in the village a fortnight ago.
Situated at the border of Ella and Southern Islands provinces, Baguale village has never experienced electricity since 1975. This will now be a thing of the past as Kutubu local level government under the leadership of President John P.P. Kila has bought solar lights to light up the village. These solar lights were switched on this week after its commissioning a fortnight ago. President Kila said bringing such impact projects like solar lights helps people to do their businesses in the village as well as other costs. He said the main beneficiaries of such projects are the schools and hospitals.
So instead of Burkina Faso, you know, one block, Pogera. The Pogera doesn't miss anything long time. But Pogera population is what you need. So, me look Faso side, me look Foi side, me look run water, and then even home of our two, Mr. helping some money to chess, walk.
Mr. Kila thanked Santos and member for Nipa Kutubu, Dr. Billy Joseph, for making this fruition. Without their help, the solar lights would not make it to Baguale village. The solar lights cost about 50,000 kina. President Kila also acknowledged the support from Southern Islands Governor William Powi for assisting the people of Kutubu through various projects.
Santos and something block people, no school, so Santos helping all Kedana, all Karamigabay. No side member and talk, Bamin billing, and never put him half money, and never put him half. So, Niba put him half of them. 200,000 Niba put him, 200,000 and member put him. Niba put him half of member. So, me grandpa walking, one block, big block, double classroom here. Double here.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
In entertainment news tonight, Papua New Guinea's premier dance crew, One Squad, is set to make waves on the global stage. The 7-member team is gearing up for the World Hip Hop International Dance Championship in Phoenix, Arizona from August 3rd to 10th. One Squad, renowned for their electrifying performances, have been preparing tirelessly for the upcoming competition. The crew has recently welcomed 2 new members, brothers AJ and Joseph Ravo, adding fresh energy and new moves to their routines.
PNG's premier dance crew, One Squad, is set to showcase their skills at the World Hip Hop International Dance Championship in Phoenix, Arizona from August 10th to August 13th. This 7-member team features new additions, AJ and Joseph Ravo, along with the manager and creative director, Pian Ning, crew leader David Chi, and dancers Fred Matthew, Joel Vene, and Lloyd Nadile. One Squad is sponsored by 2 major brands, Mountain Dew and Indomie. The team stated their journey wouldn't be possible with these 2 sponsors. In an exclusive interview, the team shared insights into their journey, highlighting the new members' contributions and the intense preparation to surpass last year's 4th-place finish. They emphasized their growth over the past 6 years and their readiness to make PNG proud on the global stage.
I think it was just the matter of the boys learning how to juggle work, family, dance, and also preparing for World Championships is a lot different. This is our 6th year as One Squad, so coming to this 6th year, a lot of things are changing individually, and I think it's just only learning how to adapt to it and learning how to grow from it as well. So, yeah, I don't know. This year we're just sticking to our guns and who we are and what where we've come from, and what we do every year. And we're just coming from a little Pacific island, Papua New Guinea, and just coming with all heart and just have fun and show the world what we have.
David Chi, founding member and crew leader, reflected on the team's evolution, while Joseph Ravo expressed his excitement about adapting to One Squad's rigorous training and structure.
This time we're really very challenged for this year, especially this new routine, and yeah, we're just happy for the 2 new boys. It's a little bit different for them because they never tried doing competitions outside, especially AJ, but this is his first one going to America.
This year was a bit tough for each and every one of us, especially us, the new members. We are trying our best to adapt with the OGs for One Squad.
With their unique Pacific Island heritage and relentless drive, One Squad is poised to captivate audiences and judges alike at the World Championships. Papua New Guinea will undoubtedly be cheering them on as they take the global stage by storm. Roland Dennis, TVWAN News.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2588 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2513 US, $0.3791 Australian dollars, $0.2243 euro, and 38.31 Japanese yen. Looking at the commodity prices at New York close, all closed lower except copra closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TVWAN News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Buying PNG made.
Open lens.
All Mama Flame is story all same.
Me save you seen flame flower long one yam. Me save me Kim Kai Kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me save like him flower balls belong me what them cover war na spring onion. All pikinini belong me save like him to mas pineapple donut me save walk him low house. Ne make kumu mix him want them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is scaling one time olar pela Kai Kai. Me save kissing more Kai Kai long all get a toya me tromoy one time flame flower.
Do enough baking more one time flame flour.
Enjoying life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, let's raise family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite for minds. Tennessee cola, scare rice, long scare price. Tennessee cola, scare rice, long scare price.
Thanks for staying with us. In regional news, France has rejected accusations that it undermines decolonization in New Caledonia and says it's still deciding when a high-level Pacific delegation will be permitted to visit the territory. The Pacific Islands Forum has been pressing Paris to allow the leaders of Fiji, Tonga and Cook Islands to visit the French territory, which is grappling with unrest in the wake of riots in May, ahead of the PIF leaders meeting in the Tongan capital Nuku'alofa late next month. The Melanesian Spearhead Group and New Zealand have ramped up criticisms of the third and final referendum in New Caledonia. Researchers at Queensland's James Cook University have had their most successful year breeding epaulet sharks, also known as walking sharks. They can survive on little to no oxygen. Now their resilience is being tested to check the health of the Great Barrier Reef.
And shimmering. In this lab, researchers are breeding epaulet sharks.
We'll palpate the females. We just sort of feel her abdomen to see if we can feel if she's got eggs.
Known as a walking shark, it moves on its fins, surviving with little to no oxygen.
It doesn't look really tough in terms of a shark face, and it's not very bitey, but it's really tough in terms of what it can tolerate,
making it an ideal species to study.
So I'm currently working with what would be considered an early juvenile stage, so about 2 to 3 months old.
Eggs have been incubated at different temperatures and exposed to varying acid levels. The juveniles are also tested in how they adapt.
As babies, we know that they're a lot more sensitive to elevated temperatures. That could compromise growth, it could compromise their metabolism, and it could compromise their survival.
The epaulet shark can be found along the entire length of the Great Barrier Reef. But with little movement between colonies, the species has genetic diversity, ideal for studying the effects of climate change.
That way we can really tease apart all of these different traits that are necessary to cope with these challenging stressors.
Scientists hope the shark inspires reef conservation efforts.
We just need to find that one thing that people can latch onto to care about, because it's so worth it. So worth it.
When we introduce the community, the general public, the kids at school to the epaulet shark, everyone falls in love.
A good night's rest can be hard to come by, which is why sleep tourism has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Hotels around the world are offering packages to aid successful slumber.
Is the dream, but studies show around half of all Australians have trouble sleeping.
We know it's not good for us, but there are strategies that we can use to help us sleep at the right times and maintain that total amount of sleep each day.
Hotels around the world have woken up to the problem and are cashing in. This Hobart hotel has a sleep suite with weighted blankets, controlled temperature and lighting, and a special food and drink menu.
We had our first guest stay with us this week and they slept a very impressive 10.5 hours.
In Sydney, guests are opting to block out the views for a good kip. High-end rooms start at more than $1,200 a night and are aimed at a select group.
The international traveller who wants to sort of wake up and explore the city or do business.
But 1 or 2 nights won't make up for months of poor sleep.
It's not going to really change too much on the long term.
Most of us can't afford to fork out thousands of dollars for a good night's sleep in a luxury hotel. But there are things we can do to ensure quality sleep in our own beds.
Sleep experts say you should be able to sleep well at home by staying off your phone at bedtime, cutting back on caffeine later in the day, and maintaining a consistent routine of bedtime and wake time.
It all comes down to behaviour at first, which is not what people want to hear because it's the hardest thing to change.
Something to sleep on.
The multinational military exercise Pitch Black will resume after a crash in a remote part of the Northern Territory. The Italian Air Force pilot involved in the incident was taken to hospital for precautionary checks, but only suffered a few cuts and bruises.
Italian Air Force jets, including their Typhoons, will continue to take off from Darwin's Air Force Base today, with the Australian head of exercise Pitch Black confident yesterday's crash was caused by an issue with just that particular aircraft. Air Commodore Pete Robertson said the aircraft crashed on pastoral land about 12 kilometres south of the community of Daly River, which is about an hour and a half south of Darwin.
That investigation will take some time to work through, but our initial indications are that the event was to do with that particular aircraft. It doesn't have anything to do with the wider Pitch Black construct or with other aircraft involved in the exercise.
He said the pilot, who has recovered from minor injuries, was able to direct the aircraft away from the built-up area before ejecting. Australian aircraft crash investigators will lead the investigation once Australian and Italian forces have been able to secure the Typhoon's wreckage.
A major shake-up in the New South Wales primary school curriculum has been unveiled. The state government says the changes will lift education standards by decluttering syllabuses and introducing some content earlier in the child's development.
I want you to think of a really good adjective, not a boring sentence.
Now the guide to shaping tomorrow's brains has been rewritten.
The syllabuses provide the backbone for teaching.
Okay, on Monday, I ate.
New maths and English syllabuses began in the state's primary schools this year. Today, the remaining 4 were released.
Some of the syllabuses within this curriculum that haven't been updated for 20 plus years.
Currently, civics and citizenship is not dealt with explicitly until high school. Under the new curriculum, students will start learning about democratic values in kindergarten, with the rule of law taught from Year 5. The subject of the human body will be introduced in primary school, with lessons about muscular and skeletal systems from Year 3. Students will learn about the solar system in Year 3 instead of Year 5. There will also be classes on consent.
A reflection of our cultural expectations that students are educated about these things.
The reforms have been in the works since 2018, when a 2-year review began.
They were big books. They weren't particularly practical or easy.
Hot fries?
The former government planned to make the entire new curriculum mandatory next year, but now schools have until 2027.
We were very ambitious in our reforms and we made no apologies for that.
While the latest international education rankings put Australia in the top 10 countries for academic performance, the nation's standards have slipped since the early 2000s. The Education Minister is hopeful the revamped curriculum will help reverse the trend.
Hopefully, in the next few years, we will start seeing a lift.
Good job.
in times when intelligence is needed more than ever.
A cold start to winter has driven demand for electricity to record levels. The high demand put pressure on the electricity grid and pushes up prices. The federal opposition is promoting nuclear power as a solution, but Australia's leading engineers have serious concerns.
Through late autumn and early winter had people in southern states turning on their heaters, pushing demand for power to the highest ever levels for this time of year. Costs were high too. Wholesale electricity prices were 23% more than the same time last year. The weather conditions also meant less wind and rain in Victoria and Tasmania, and less wind and hydro power for the grid. Gas-fired power plants ramped up to meet demand, which costs more.
In the budget, we had our electricity bill rebate that'll start kicking in to help people with some of those costs.
And nuclear energy, along with renewables, along with gas, is absolutely the answer for our country.
The Coalition is pushing its plan for 7 nuclear power plants. There's still no detail on costs or types, but Peter Dutton believes it can happen in a little over a decade.
We can have nuclear into the system 2035 to 2037 in the first 2 sites, and then we continue to roll it out from there.
The nation's leading engineers have looked at small modular nuclear reactors and found the cost and operational performance hasn't yet been demonstrated, and that likely won't happen until the mid to late 2040s.
It is incredibly risky to bank on small modular reactors. The best bet is to urgently invest and roll out the renewable technologies that we already know work.
We need to do this transition now. We can't afford to wait for nuclear.
The timelines and expected costs of the Coalition's nuclear plan don't stack up. Labor's plan requires a rapid acceleration of the rollout of renewables and plenty of gas as a backstop. With most of the nation's coal-fired power stations to shut down over the next decade, what happens in the next few years will be crucial.
Thanks for watching. Join me after the break for all the sporting details.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
At the PNG LNG project, we are proud of our long-standing partnership with the Kumuls, as they represent the hopes and aspirations of so many Papua New Guineans. Rugby League is more than just a sport. It promotes our shared values of leadership, teamwork, respect, personal integrity, and excellence. Lessons learnt on the pitch carry on throughout life and go beyond serving ourselves.
More than the life we've known, there is more to what the future holds. You be holy, man, no walk one time. Oh, 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 oh. We dare to believe in incredible things. Oh, 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 oh. With money plus we're ready to go.
tackle on the last. Moida now gets up to plate. Morea dummy half. He finds Simon. Beautiful pass away. And it's Gilmore Paul going over. Dane Cook. What a way.
The Knights race away. They get two in a hurry. Beautiful execution from the Knights. Here's Brody Parker. Only one to beat. Isabel Kelly.
Welcome back. Australia and Papua New Guinea will co-host 2026 Rugby League World Cup. Australia's Fox Sports reported this on Wednesday. This is welcoming news for both countries. Papua New Guinea has been blessed with yet another opportunity to co-host the Rugby League World Cup in 2026, along with Australia. The opportunity allows PNG to host the world event and showcase its diverse culture. PNG, a rugby league-mad nation, hosted a handful of group matches in the 2017 World Cup. It was a unique opportunity for the PNG Kumuls to play on home soil and qualifying for the finals. The 2026 World Cup presents a similar opportunity. The International Rugby League Troy Grant told Australia's Fox Sport that the 2026 World Cup in Australia, with matches to be played in PNG, will see the rise of game in the Pacific, reach greater heights, and ensure rugby league is the #1 sport in the region. He further said, the partnership between PNG and Australia provides a unique opportunity to combine Australia's experience in delivering world-class and commercially viable events while building capacity and capability in PNG, where the passion of the game is unrivaled and the potential for the game is untapped. In the last two World Cup campaigns, PNG made it through to the semi-finals, and it will be interesting to see how far they can go at the 2026 World Cup, not only because they are co-hosting the event, but also they have at least enough players in the NRL and in the Super League to pick from, along with players from the Queensland Cup. The first contingent of PNG athletes participating in the Paris Olympics have arrived in France for the opening ceremony. The remaining team members are expected to be there before the formal opening ceremony on Friday, July 26, 2024. The first Team PNG athletes arrived at the Olympic Village in Paris, France, where Taekwondo duo Gibson Mara and Kevin Kasman, Leon Bell, and PNG Olympic team officials headlined by Olympian Ryan Pinney and national boxing coach Peter Morrison. The remainder of the team is expected to join them before the official opening of the Paris Olympics scheduled Friday, July 26. The opening ceremony of the Olympics for the first time will be held outside of the stadium and is expected to see massive turnout. PNG has 7 athletes to participate in boxing, swimming, athletics, taekwondo and weightlifting. John Ume from boxing, who previously participated in Tokyo Olympics, was a late inclusion and has joined the team late. He will be the first of PNG athletes to participate in the event. He will bout in the 63.5 kg division on Saturday. Taekwondo will be the last of Team PNG fighting on August 9th to 10th to round up the events for PNG team. PNG Sports Fraternity is anticipating positive results from the athletes. The Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League today announced the formation of the first ever national women's rugby league competition, to be known as the Santos Cup. PNG RFL, in partnership with Santos, Pacific Ore Sports and Kumul Minerals Holdings, will support the women's competition, which will see talented female players compete in the 6-team competition across 7 weeks.
The Santos Cup, the women's rugby league competition, is set to provide more opportunities for women and girls to excel in the sport and beyond. The competition aims to empower female players, energize the sport and excite rugby league fans, especially those passionate about women in sport. Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League Chief Executive Officer Stanley Hondina said this is a proud and historic day for rugby league in PNG. He says it is a wonderful opportunity to showcase the talent of female players in a high-performance environment, as it opens up a pathway for females in the game. Hondina says creating a new competition wouldn't be possible without the support of its partners. In this partnership, Santos is extending its support of rugby league beyond the Santos PNG Orchids to become the naming rights sponsor of this inaugural competition, the Santos Cup. The 2024 women's competition will see 6 franchises participate: Central Dabaris, Goroka Lahanis, Mount Hagen Eagles and the Port Moresby Vipers. The competition will kick off with all teams playing a triple header on Saturday, the 3rd of August at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby, with matches to be played in Goroka, Kokopo, Lae and Minge in the coming rounds. The Santos Cup will culminate on Grand Final Day on the 15th of September 2024. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
A late goal by Ben Wine and New Zealand began their Olympic adventure in the men's football tournament with a win in France, with tough fixtures still to come in against host France and the USA. It was vitally important that the New Zealand side picked up 3 points against their African opponents in a bid to qualify for the knockout stage. They had the perfect opportunity to open the scoring when, following a VAR check, a penalty was awarded after Sam Sutton was brought down in the area by Guinea goalkeeper. Guinea enjoyed much of the possession as the match wore on, and having had an early effort checked off and the equaliser that their endeavours deserved in the 72nd minute. The parity would only last a matter of minutes, as Ben Wine would have the crucial and ultimately decisive intervention for New Zealand. New Zealand make it 2-1 and give the Kiwis 3 points to kick off their campaign in France. Former PNG Hunters outside back and current Warrington Wolves centre have inked a 12-month contract extension to remain with the club until the end of the next season 2025. Roderick Tai was reported to have been granted permission to explore options elsewhere, but things have changed for him within a month. He earned a contract extension with one play. Warrington Wolves centre Roderick Tai was definitely heading home after he was told earlier in the month that the club would not re-sign him for further seasons. It was a disastrous moment for Tai, who thought his time at the club was over. On the weekend, Tai came off the bench to put a strong performance in their 24-10 win against St Helens, where he was recognised with the Player of the Match award. Following that Man of the Match performance, things took different turn. Love Rugby League reported that the Wire head coach Sam Badgers told media that the club had reconsidered its standing to discuss the 12-month contract extension with the Western Highlander, and he has agreed to stay at the Wire until the end of next season. The former Hunter was one of the first signings of Badgers, who took over the coaching gig at the club. He has again given a season at the club to prove himself. In the next 12 months, Tai is expected to give his best in the Super League to land himself a long-term deal either with the Warrington Wolves or elsewhere, as it will be a career-defining season for him. Meanwhile, Tai's Wire is running second on the points ladder in the English Super League under the mentorship of South Sydney Rabbitohs great Sam Badgers. They are bound for the finals football this season. That's it for sports. Now the weather forecast. Southern, Port Moresby, partly cloudy, mostly fine. Daru, partly cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. Momase, late cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorm in the afternoon. Madang, partly cloudy. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, partly cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. Kimbe, partly cloudy, mostly fine. And Highlands, Mount Hagen, mostly cloudy with some rain showers. Mandy, Tari and Warburg, mostly cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea. Seas rather rough to very rough with southeast winds of 20 to 30 knots, increasing at times to 40 knots along warning areas. Solomon Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots, reaching 25 to 30 knots along warning areas. Coastal waters forecast, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands. And that wraps up the news tonight. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank